There are a couple of things that are important about Marx in that context. One, along with Nietzsche and Darwin, I think he's important for weakening, subverting, undermining the notion of human nature. The Romantics could kind of get away with what they were doing. Rousseau could get away with what he's doing because he did assume that there was a common human nature we all shared that had a sort of intrinsic moral structure to it. What you get with Darwin, Nietzsche, and Marx is the abolition of that idea. Particularly with Marx and also with Nietzsche as well. But human nature becomes a construct of the dominant class in order to naturalize and normalize the moral structures that it needs to preserve its position of power. Which is in some ways, touching on critical race theory. This is the idea there that we want to talk about human dignity. No, you're really talking about the white man's notion of human dignity.
Right.
You're universalizing your particular class or race interest. So we see that kind of logic flowing through to the critical theory of today. So that's one important point about Marx, that he's part of this general onslaught on the notion of human nature as a stable, transcendent, intrinsically moral concept.
Yeah.
Secondly, he makes history, well, he makes all things political. When Marx says, human beings are fundamentally defined by their economic relations to other human beings, what he does is he makes everything becomes economic, and everything therefore becomes political. So as we think of today's society, where it sometimes strikes me as odd that the most private of human activities, sexual intercourse, has become one of the most pressing issues of public policy of our day.
Right.
Why has the intimately private become the explicitly public? Well, Marx is part of that story, because for Marx, there is no private. Everything is political. You see this again, you probably see this on Twitter, but people say that's a personal opinion. No, the personal is political.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of view is only possible in a world that Marx has had a significant role in shaping, in terms of how we understand all of human activity, political activity. So there's that element of Marx, and then thirdly, the element of struggle. That history is about overcoming oppression. And also, oddly, in doing that, he makes the traditional losers of history into the heroes and the winners. It's the poor, the dispossessed, the marginalized that become the heroes for Marx, not the great men, the powerful men. No, it's the underdogs, it's the underclass. And that, I think, plays strongly into our modern egalitarian intuitions. We have an instinct for the underdog. We don't like to see people being picked on and bullied by the powerful and the strong. So Marx's idea there resonates powerfully with part of the way we as modern Western liberal democratic people intuit the world around us. Wow. So those are the areas where I would say Marx is, he's not solely responsible for the way we think, but he's a powerful theorist of some of the ways we now think and intuit the world.